Hi, my name is Marc Story. I'm a business agility consultant with Agile Velocity. Today, we're going to be talking about our business outcome prioritization functionality. To get to that, we're going to click on Assess and then choose Business Outcomes. This loads up the Business Outcomes page, and you can see right at the top that it tells us we don't have business outcomes prioritized. It's a super critical thing in making sure that we build alignment throughout our organization by understanding what it is and why we're going through any transformational work. The other things you can see on the page is we've got the 9 Path to Agility business outcomes listed. You can click on them, get a more detailed explanation of what we mean when we say continuous improvement. So we've got the definition, we've got some of the savings or competitive advantages that can be realized by engaging in that, and then we've got a success story. The same sort of information is available for each of the 9 business outcomes. Use this to explain to everyone as you're facilitating this process what we're talking about so you can understand. So everyone has the same understanding of what we're talking about. The next thing we want to do is actually to prioritize some business outcomes. So I'm going to click on the prioritize button in the upper right. We've got a couple of options about how we do this. We've got a manual option. So if you've got everyone in the room and you want to facilitate a discussion on this where they choose 2 or 3 of the business outcomes, you can do that. This will allow you to go in and just choose without running a poll, or we can run a poll, which will allow everyone to participate a little bit more collaboratively and make sure that everyone actually votes, because that's what we're doing. So we're going to choose poll. That gives us this screen, which shows us a quick explanation of how this works. Prepare, vote, discuss results, and repeat until done. So the first thing we want to do is share the link. Click on this in the upper right, and then you can see here that the room URL has been copied to the clipboard. Use that to send your internal messaging tool, email, or whatever's the right thing for you to all the participants, and they can join the poll. We've also got all of the business outcomes listed. Each business outcome has a radio button here that will allow us to choose business outcomes. So we're going to start with all 9 of them in play. You can also see here we've got a panel that shows how many people are participating. When you get this, you'll see their names listed there, so you can make sure that everyone has joined the poll. The next thing we want to do is to actually launch the voting. So we click on Start Voting down here in the lower right. This brings up the panel to set up our voting process. So right now, we've got it set to allow each participant to vote 3 times. It also allows us to choose whether or not people can vote for the same business outcome multiple times, or if we want them to only vote 1 per item. And then we can change the amount of time that we're allocating for the voting process. So once we've got this set up, I hit launch voting, and this shows us what the progress is. You can see we've got all the different things listed here. Go ahead and start the timer. If there were participants, you would see their names listed and how many of the votes that they have already registered. This gives us the ability to gauge progress on voting. Once everyone has voted, hit close voting, and that will show us what the results are. In this case, we don't have any in the poll, so you can see that we've got 0 votes for each of the business outcomes. And the other thing you'll notice is that the business outcomes have all been deselected. So when one of them gets no votes, they are automatically removed from contention. I'm going to put these 3 back in. If you had a large group and maybe you got votes on 6 or 7 of these, you might go through a process to continue to narrow that down. So you would facilitate another round of discussion about those that did get votes and then let the participants vote. And you don't want to end up, you want to get yourself where you've got 2 or 3 of these, because we all know that focusing on everything means we're not going to really focus on anything. So in this case, we are going to operate as though we reach consensus on employee engagement, customer satisfaction, and quality. So that means I can go ahead and end the poll, which will bring up the option to save the results. So we've got end and save, which gives us 2 different options. The first is that if I choose this option, every entity within your organization is going to have the same business outcomes, because there are instances in which systems and teams may have created their own business outcomes that they were driving toward. And if you have those and you want those to remain, then you would choose preserve priorities. And that would mean that we're not going to overwrite, and we're going to leave those priorities in place. In this case, I'm going to choose align priorities across all levels. And that finishes off the process. So you can see now, business outcomes, we see that we've got quality, employee engagement, and customer satisfaction chosen as our business outcomes, and that will fuel your planning for your continuous improvement efforts. I hope this functionality proves valuable. Thank you.